Well, on to something else from that last French report. Outgoing French President Francois Hollande called for justice over the alleged sodomy of a black youth with a police baton. Now, an incident that has sparked riots for more than a week and more than 200 arrests in the country. A video of the young man's violent arrest circulated on the internet shows Theo on the ground against a wall being beaten by 4 policemen. Now, in his account to the media, Theo L., who has since left the hospital, recounted how he fell face down after being confronted by the police, who spat racist insults and sodomized him with a baton during the brutal arrest. Now, the French police called the violent assault, quote, an accident, end quote. With elections now coming up in the country and the protests are violent, presidential candidates have had to weigh in on the issue, with National Front candidate Marine Le Pen siding with the police. However, analysts say the long-standing tensions between the police and French minorities, or the problems of these communities, have largely been ignored in this year's presidential campaigns until right now.
In Paris, the crowd chanted, "We don't forget, we forgive not." A banner crossed out of the registration of Zaid and Bauna to Theo and Adama, down with the racism and state violence, because it must be said the case of Theo is not an isolated case in France. In summer 2016, Adama Traoré, a young black man, died during his arraignment. Despite the results of the first autopsy, the family of the victim from the start was convinced that the young man was a victim of a blunder. Several attacks are proposed by human rights advocates to curb police violence, in particular that this be systematically employed during the checks. That the receipt given to the person controlled by the police is established, or that the pedestrian cameras are used by the police. We talked to Karim Yaouaoui, municipal councillor of the Democrat movement. Hello, Karim. Why is the subject so controversial? This is a problem that is a very sensitive issue. Today, which are popular areas, neighborhoods, it is a problem that has never been resolved since the previous terms of different presidents. Let us remember that in 81, Mitterrand wanted if attack this scourge. Today, the immigrant populations have had children who have grown up, who are now contributing to the economic activity in France. They have fully integrated themselves into the system, but there is no place. Today there is a real disparity, a separation between Paris and the suburbs. It represents a pressure cooker. We can see it in 2005, the intensity that it had resonated at the international level. Even the United States, via CNN, had traced a map of France with the French cities on fire, enough to frighten international opinion. So politicians must take this subject seriously for these children in the French social and political education system. I think it will be ideal, otherwise we have an increasingly divided society. Karim, is it a trial of racism or police brutality, unless the two are linked? Some people take advantage of it, notably some candidates in the run-up to the elections, which will take place in 3 months, to be able to stir up tension, a division of the French. But this is not new in France. There are displaced words, wrongs are shared, whether it is people in politics. There are videos circulating, but it is not 1 or 2 isolated cases that allows to make a generality on this case. I think the society has evolved. This is a generation of Facebook, Google. The slightest incident is filmed. People are no longer free to do what they want. The slightest incident is filmed, and since the events similar to those of Theo, which show police brutality, could be listed as this platform here. They amplify, comment. It is a reality. The racist comments are an endemic phenomenon.
Karim,
the demonstrators are calling for justice and talking about police impunity, or is it judicial process? For what do you know? The 4 police officers have been arrested, dismissed from their functions. Police reject the rape. They call it an accidental act, of which caused the stir of the population. I think that it's not correct and worthy to say that it is an accident, since it has proven facts. Now, the left, which aims the popular electorate, will attack the National Front, which puts itself in a neutral manner and does not want to condemn. But there are things that have been seen, and I think that thorough investigation will show the truth of the facts. If there has been inappropriate behavior, sanction it, just as justice punishes some people in the suburbs. That do things on the French. I'm in favor of a fair policy, equitable and all-inclusive policy, and not that there is double standards. Otherwise, we will be in a divided society.
Ça serait une division totale de la société, je pense.